in this next generation, a lot of young people, they don't know about it because we get it instantly. But there's something as productive struggle, that productive struggle of learning how to navigate problems, learning how to go through problems, and to try this, and if it don't work, then take a little bit of this and then improve it on that. That's called productive struggle. And can I tell you this? Those make the best leaders. Leaders who can go through that productive struggle. Leaders who can go to what we call in today's world pressure. Because if you as a leader, if you fake the funk all the time and say and act like you got all the answers, and in the end, in the behind the scenes, you're oh god, I'm covered. But no, it's okay to show that vulnerability. It's okay to show that space where you know you don't have all the answers, but we're willing as a team, as a group, as a pod or whatever, we're willing to go through it and to go through it. And here it is, as followers, as people who follow leaders, we have to give them that space to let them know. What's up, family? It's your boy, it's your preacher, it's your teacher, it's your uncle, it's your whatever you want to call me. But I hope you call me your favorite podcast host. We're back with another episode of Legacy Builders Podcast. We are here on February 16th, and y'all, I couldn't wait later in the episode because I gotta let y'all know this is my birthday today. So if you see me today, if you are watching this on February 16th, go ahead and drop in the comments happy birthday. I'm thankful for another year of life. I'm thankful for another opportunity to be here. And before we get on what we're talking about today, I'm rocking this new hoodie from my friend, from my sister. And she has this brand. Y'all look in the camera right here. Go Be Great. And funny enough, quick story, y'all. Funny enough, I preached a sermon like almost 6 years ago. 5 years ago, talking about Abraham, when God talks about, he'll make you a great nation. I used this title, Go Be Great. And so I started to use that. And then like looking on Facebook, somebody already had the brand and she was doing the clothing. She's a speaker of her own right. She's being great. And so I want to encourage, I told her, I said, I'm going to buy some hoodies. I'm going to broadcast you. I'm going to promote you. So I'm going to, if you follow me on any of my socials, I'm going to post her information. I'm going to post the hoodie I'm wearing. I got one more and I'm going to order more. And I want you to go ahead and order, connect with her, bring her to your school, bring her to your functions. She's the real deal. She really is. That's mine, though. Y'all gotta get Charles. But today I want to talk about something that is so that I'm preparing for, but while preparing for, I was analyzing and thinking about stuff. I want to talk about leadership. I want to talk about the pressure of young leaders, of black leaders, black men leaders, teachers, leaders, everything that I think connects to me. I'm a young leader, rising leader. I'm a black man. And we don't see a lot of black men in those leadership roles and wherever field it may be. And then I'm a teacher who is striving to be a school leader. And I think when I was thinking about this episode, I was just thinking about what we need to talk about. Leadership isn't just a title. It's the weight you carry when no one sees you're growing. Young leaders feel pressure. Black men feel pressure, teachers feel pressure, but what makes us built for more isn't the pressure, is how you respond to it, is how we respond to it. So today I want to talk about those things. I want to talk about those things that make up this leadership, this being a black man in leadership, black woman, being a teacher, wanting to grow and get into leadership. But first we have to define what a leader is. And so I looked it up, and it says a leader isn't just someone with followers. It's someone who elevates others, takes responsibility and keep going when it's tough. So leadership is not just about someone having followers. Because if that's the case, everyone on social media would be a leader in their own right, because we all have followers, we all have a following. But leaders is someone, I believe, some of the greatest leaders I know is people who elevate others, who takes on responsibilities and keep going with it. And really, what I like about that is to elevate others. Because there are some leaders out there that just are me centric, me. It's all about them. Their name got to be in the lights. But if you can elevate someone else, if you can see their potential, if you can see their potential and know that they have some rough edges that may need to be clear out, but if you know that they got potential and you push them and you put them in spaces, I would consider you a leader, because I know and those type of leaders get the best results, because they don't always put people that look like them. They don't always put people that always agree with them. They don't always put people that looks like them, that sounds like them, but they put people that they see little leadership qualities, and they say, let me bring you up. Let me pull you. Let me teach you. Let me grow you under my wing. So when part of leadership, there is a mentorship part to it. And that's how I can tell who great leaders are. Some great leaders, most of your great leaders are great mentors, because they're not the one just barking out order, do this, do this, do this. No, they're willing to get in the mud with you and get dirty with it. They're willing to give you a space and a place to grow, and then also to fail and to fail forward. So we were talking about that in class. I'm at USC getting my master's in educational leadership. One of my classmates said ability to fail forward, because some of us, we are so scared of failing, and we're so scared of it all being on us, that we don't go into those leadership positions. Some of us who are natural born leaders, some of us who are natural leaders, who lead people, who lead young people, who lead in religious spaces and in corporate worlds. You're a leader, but you are afraid to kind of walk into that leadership potential, is because you're afraid of the criticism that leaders get. Because I feel like leaders are not born. Some leaders are created. We all have those leadership qualities, those able to speak up, able to defend ourselves, able to help other people. But I think most leaders begin in rooms where they feel unqualified. Have you ever been, I'm talking to a leader right now, have you ever felt like when you got into the room, you felt unqualified, that imposter syndrome that we talked about in beginning of this year, that imposter syndrome? And can I tell you this? That is the best place to be as a leader. Because as a leader, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't want to know all the answers. I want to be able to lead. And here it is. Can I tell you this? Not every leaders don't know all the answers. But here it is. There's that productive struggle that I think a lot of us in this next generation, a lot of young people, they don't know about it because we get it instantly. But there's something as productive struggle, that productive struggle of learning how to navigate problems, learning how to go through problems, and to try this, and if it don't work, then take a little bit of this and then improve it on that. That's called productive struggle. And can I tell you this? Those make the best leaders. Leaders who can go through that productive struggle. Leaders who can go to what we call in today's world pressure. Because if you as a leader, if you fake the funk all the time and say and act like you got all the answers, and in the end, in the behind the scenes, you're oh god, I'm coming, but no. It's okay to show that vulnerability. It's okay to show that space where you know you don't have all the answers, but we're willing as a team, as a group, as a pod or whatever, we're willing to go through it and to go through it. And here it is. as followers, as people who follow leaders, we have to give them that space to let them know that it's okay to be human. They don't have to be Superman. They don't have to be Superwoman. It's okay if sometimes the kryptonite get them and they can't solve this problem right here. It is okay. We have to give them that space. But here it is. Leaders, you have to create that environment. It's a twofold thing. It's a twofold thing. It's a leaders and followers. It's a collaboration. It's a partnership. Now, when you have this and this, it's a bad thing. But as you have this, knowing that I know you're the leader, but as a leader, I know I can benefit from you as well. And so here it is. Young leaders often carry expectations from family. They carry expectations from peers. I'll talk about this later. And then you also have that pressure to prove themselves. So I think a lot of people, even in my age group or even the older age group, I think as leaders on that first early on carry side of our leadership, you often feel like you got to prove yourself to somebody. You got to prove that you know what you're doing. And to an extent, that is true. But then you have to know when you have to feel it in yourself. You know when enough is enough. You know, like, yeah, I prove myself. Da 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 da. Like first day of teaching, I had to prove myself to myself. Here it is. You got to prove. You don't have to prove yourself to other people. You got to prove. Sometimes you got to prove yourself to yourself. So I had to prove myself when my first day of teaching. Okay, I know what I'm doing. And then now, as you go on in it, there have been some mistakes in my teaching career. There have been some things I wish I did differently. But as you go on, as you progress in it, you start to learn, and then you don't need to prove nothing to nobody, not even to yourself. And so I think that's where a lot of young leaders fail, because you get in there and then you trying to be somebody and something that you're not, that you end up feeling a little bit worse, or that you end up failing to reach the mark because you trying to be you trying to be what they want. You trying to be what they want, and you trying to be what they want, and then in the end, you lose yourself. I think the best leaders can be themselves, and they can adapt to every room. So if you look at some leaders, you work with, that leaders that you've seen in the past, the best leaders have been able to talk to everybody, feel and make everybody feel like they have a voice. Here it is. If you're a leader today, and the people that are following you, the people that work for you, the people that don't feel like they got a voice, you're a dictator. You're trying to be a dictator. You're trying to rule with an iron fist. No, everybody should have a voice at the table. Opinions should matter to an extent. To an extent. And you have to be able to feel, even if somebody don't get their way, they should be comfortable enough to still follow you and trust you. Here it is. So leadership is not only based off if you know what you're doing, leadership is also based off if people can trust you. Because if I can't trust you, I can't run through a wall for you. Look. One of my coaches, Coach Isaac Lawrence, one of the greatest men I knew, and no, I was able, when he became my position coach, I felt like my game elevated a little bit more because I was able to trust him. And I knew he was looking not only for, am I going to be a great football player? No, Coach Lowe was making sure I be a great man in life. So he was elevating my game, but also elevating my character. And so when I saw that, okay, I'm not just another player that's a good player that's going to be here for a little while, and then when he go, then no. He made sure, and many of my football coaches made sure that I was also becoming a great man in life. And so I was able to trust him. I could do certain stuff I didn't feel comfortable. I can go to certain drills that I didn't feel comfortable. I can go to certain games where I felt like we were overmatched, but I know I could play my best because I know that they built that trust in me, and I can trust them that they were going to put me in the right position to succeed. And so here it is. It's not always about proving yourself. So I don't know me right. It's about trust. And here is you have to be vulnerable enough, and you have to know who should be on your team, who should not be on your team. And so here it is. So we define what leadership is. We define with where it is. So I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk here from a place that I know. Black men. We are in Black History Month, one of the greatest months of the year. So black men navigating the pressure. So here it is. Here's a stat. I hear some stats that I want y'all to listen to. So here in the U.S., black men teachers make up about 1.3% of the public school teachers, despite black men being in 6.1% of the population. Here it is. Black physicians overall are underrepresented. Only around 4.7 to 5.7% of doctors are black, and black male physicians are less than 3% of all doctors. So black lawyers, come on. Black lawyers are underrepresented related to the black populations. So there's about 5% of lawyers are black versus 13 to 14% of the overall population. So here it is. The imbalance that imbalance matters, especially in fields where presence inspires future generations. So as a black male, I take being a black male teacher so seriously. I do, because here it is. I know how representation matter. Here it is. I had one black male teacher in my whole career, K through 12. One black male teacher. So here it is. You have to, and so we don't see as much black men leaders because they're not in those spaces. Because what y'all want us to think, and what societies want to think, and what I tell my kids all the time is the only way you can make it is from being a athlete, being a rapper, or whatever else. And can I tell you this? I was an athlete. I was a god doggone good athlete. Still got it. But here it is. These systematic barriers lead to less access to mentorship as well as professional network. People tell me all the time, it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. And so, as it is, as a black male, as a black female, as a black individual, anyway, if we're not represented in those leadership tiers, in those leadership spaces, it is hard to feel like you can get into those spaces. I'm telling you from fear of fact, from true fact, from how I'm feeling right now. And so you have to play so many mind games. You have to play so many this, so many that. So I want to realize that we need black leadership, black female, black male, no matter, because here it is. Pressure to be the strong one. You as a black male, sometimes in those leaderships, we feel extra pressure. We feel the extra burden. We feel the extra this and that. Like going through my master's program of leadership, I'm like, oh, and getting my hours and doing this, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I can't take a break. Because I feel like whatever mistake I make is going to be amplified versus my counterparts. And so here it is. That gives a lot of pressure. So a lot of black men, black female, African Americans in general, they don't go in that leadership position because they feel like it's going to be unfair. They feel like it's going to be unbalanced. They feel like they're going to have to go through the lake, the ocean, the river, the mountain. And if they make that one mistake, then it's all over. And so here it is. Then you come into that feeling of feeling isolated because there are only a few of you in the room and you can feel lonely. As a teacher, there are times where I feel isolated as a black male because there are some things I want to say. There's some things I understand, or there's some things that can be happening, but I'm like, oh, I feel alone. I feel I can't say that. Or if I say that, how's this going to be taken if I blow? I am so scared. Like, as a black man, as a teacher, I really raise my voice because there's a stereotype of the angry black man. And so whenever I want to blow up, whenever I want to do this, whenever I'm mad and enraged, or wherever I'm frustrated about a situation, I always play that in the back of my head that, Jaheim, you can't blow up because they're gonna see you as the angry black man. And but what that has taught me is how to navigate, how to, okay, I can't blow up, but I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. I've learned because there's some times where I feel isolated. And so if you look at those professions we talked about, lawyers, doctors, hell, policemen, anything, there are not a lot of us. And so you feel isolated. And so that isolation can feel like you're alone. And so black men carry and black women carry the weight that most people will never fully understand. Because we often expect to be strong for everyone, okay? Everywhere else, but we're strong for ourselves. So black men are unrepresented in classroom, in medical fields, in law, and that underrepresentation says that something about the pressure we carry and the systems we're navigating. Because representation is not just a number, it is a signal to the next generation. So when you see a black lawyer, black man lawyer, black woman lawyer, encourage her, encourage him. If you see a black man teacher, a black male principal, assistant principal, anything in leadership, anything in the school system, encourage them. Black woman, the same, encourage her. If you see a black woman nurse, a black woman doctor, a black woman this and that, encourage her, because you don't know how that can help them get through just that day, just that hour, just that moment. And so we talked about being a young leader. We talked about being African American, black male in leadership. But I want to talk about something else. Teachers come to the front. Teachers come to the front. Okay, so many teachers don't go into leadership because they're fear of losing connections with the students. Another thing, teachers feel are scared to go into leadership because they think that leadership role, which in fact does, means more meetings, more politics, and less classroom time. And leadership track often requires credentials. Go USC Columbia. Woohoo! And some feel like they're already leading in their own way. So, as teachers, a lot of teachers don't want to go through it because they don't want that scrutiny of the community. They don't want that scrutiny from the parent, from the child. So there are a lot of great teachers that I think would be great school leaders, but they're scared to step up on that win because financial. So now you got to go get another master's degree. You got to go through that. Now you have to leadership. So now there's a different dynamic. So now your coworkers sometimes feel you as the enemy. Anytime you work into a leadership position, they feel like you are not the enemy, but they just like, oh, you're out of touch. Which that could be true in some cases. And so most schools in the demographic of teachers in the workforce is predominantly white women. That's true. So even the white male is a minority in education, and the black woman and the black male. And so most of your leadership principles, as well as APs, whatever, often reflect this trend. So there is a shortage of teachers of color in leadership. And that's why I think the Lord has graced me so much to go into this leadership endeavor, because not just for the kids, but I want my colleagues to know that you can do it and you can be successful in it. And you can still make the impact. You can still make a great impact because you made it in the classroom, but it's in a wider spread. People ask me all the time, Jaheim, you're a good teacher. Why you want to be a leader? Why you want to do this? Why you want to do that? Da, da, da. I mean, the easy answer is to say the more money, but God, I don't worry about money that much because I know God will supply. God will. But I looked at over time my years in classroom. Some of the greatest impacts I've made have been students I've not even taught. Some of my school sons, in fact, are students that I did not teach, but I've created a great relationship and a great mentorship that I'm like, wow. Okay, so I see this impact. What imagine a great impact if I'm not I'd say bound, but I'm not bound to these four walls every day. I get a great impact. Not only am I able to impact students, I'm also to impact and encourage teachers, to impact and encourage parents. I think the Lord has placed me on this earth to be an encourager. Hey, hence the podcast. Hence the reason why I'm doing this. And so I think why teachers do make great leaders anyway, because of the daily practice of influence. You'll be surprised how much teachers have a negative or a positive impact on your students, because we're with them for a majority of the year. Think about it. From August to May, we're with your child 5 days of the week, every week. 5 days. So not only are you influenced at home, but we as teachers have a great influence on your students. I call us like second parents. I'd say all the time, for all many snacks and talkies and all this other stuff I bought for my students in my classroom, I should be claiming them on my taxes. So and then also some teachers are expert communicators. And I think that's why it's good to have diversity on your leadership team, because especially in AP, in the school realm, and I'm not just talking about color, I'm just talking about diversity of backgrounds, what type of schools you worked at, because sometimes it may not click for you, but it may click for other person. And then if it clicked for you, I want you to teach me. I want you to be the teacher. Because here it is, we think when we get in leadership role, it's all about being in the office. It is all about no, it's not about that. It is about becoming a teacher just on a higher level. That's how I think about APs and principal. Y'all are teaching me. Y'all are governing this classroom, where maybe your classroom may be the sixth grade. Your classroom may be the fifth grade. Your classroom may be this part of the school. Your classroom as a principal may be the whole school. Your classroom as a superintendent may be the whole district. But in the end, you're teaching something and it trickles down. So it comes from leadership, then it goes to that, then it goes to the classroom, and then eventually it gets to the student, or it should get to the student. And then it's all about impact. Because here it is, Billy may never be the greatest test score. Billy may never go to college. But if you can teach Billy how to be a great human, how to learn something, Billy might start their own business and invent something. So that's what it's all about. It's not about test scores. It's not about this. It's not about that. And I think that's why I want to encourage teachers to look at leadership a different way. You're still going to be in the classroom, just a bigger classroom. You're still going to be helping kids, just more kids. And I think if you're a teacher, and if you're a teacher who is thinking about jumping the fence into leadership, I want to encourage you that you can do it. No matter your age, I don't care if you need retirement and you only gonna be a school leader for 5 years. Do it. We need your voice. We need your impact. We need your stamina. God. So if you're a young leader, if you're a black man, black woman, or if you're a teacher and you're called for more, I know this. You're not alone in this pressure. You're not alone in this development. You're not alone in this idea of leadership. You're not alone. You're not behind. Talking to myself, Jaheim, you're not behind, but you're recovering, and your struggle is not the end, it's the beginning of your legacy. So I wanted you to share this with any young leader you may know. Share this with a black man or black woman who needs encouragement, who's feeling isolated in their field that they're trying to become a leader in, and send this to a teacher who thinks that they're unseen and who think that their voice doesn't mean that. No, your voice means a lot. Well, family, that is all I have for you on this great day, February 16th, 2026. The day that a legend was born, a day that I'll let you man. I love you, family, and we'll see you next Monday for another episode of the Legacy Builders Podcast here on Apple TV. Oh, not Apple TV, Lord, one day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And our channel is Joaquin President TV. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and get on this because I'm about to order me another hoodie. I am chosen. You are chosen. Y'all ever heard that song? For a few. Okay, I'm getting out. See y'all later. Peace.